Alright, so we've got our flipbook here. See, everything's just being blown up all over the place. Looks pretty great. And this is really going to push the simulation out and really going to make a difference. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I just want to make sure to lower the gravity of everything to really give the scale even further to make things look like they're quite a bit bigger. So I'm going to lower the gravity to 2.5. I'm just going to make everything look a lot bigger. And since we're kind of emitting really fast, I want the collisions to make sure they're accurate. So I'm going to go to the simulation on the DOP.NET. I'm just give it 2 sub-steps just to make sure we're calculating everything a little bit more accurate. So finally, when we're bringing things from our DOP.NET, we don't need, at the moment we're bringing in the collision as well. And in the object merge, we're choosing to bring in star means all objects. Really, the only thing we need to bring in is the RBD packed object. So if we just kind of copy and paste that name of the RBD packed object here, you can see now we're only bringing in the DOP.NET here. Okay, so let's just finally check a couple of extra attributes. We don't need to see our sphere here. So under the magnet force, let's just turn off show guide geometry. So we don't need to view that. And also we can choose to, you see how everything's blowing up. It's kind of static, or it's not spinning very much. So in our RBD packed object, let's see, I'm going to go to the physical attributes, and under rotational stiffness, I'm just going to reduce that by 50%. So that'll make sure things can spin. Right now it was reducing the amount of spin on that. And let's just check our SOP geometry, because this is really going to change the amount of explosion that everything has. So I've already dialed this in, so I'm going to give it some values here. -7. Blow it off a little bit to one side. I really don't want things to be so uniform. And there we go. So this transform and where this, obviously this force is really going to determine kind of where we're blowing these rocks into. But by reducing the gravity, they're going to come down a little bit. They're not going to fall down so fast. It's going to make everything feel a little bit bigger. Okay, so with those changes in mind, I'm going to throw down a file cache. And let's cache this out. So in the file cache, I've actually already got this cached out. So let's delete that. So I've put this into its own rocks folder. I've called it rocks01$f4. And we can load that now back from disk. And here it is. So here's our final sim. I've simmed 300 frames of this just to make sure we got enough to deal with. So here's our final sim. And if we kind of view that mountain collide, view this rocks, let's just take a flipbook. So again, you're going to have to kind of go back and forth. I know that we kind of skimmed over this pretty fast, but once you get used to this simple RBD type setups, they're really fast to set up. And it's really a lot of flipbooking back and forth, different gravity parameters, and all about where that metaball is for your bomb force. And it's really going to determine the look and how many shatter points you have. So you can see that things are quite a bit slower here, but it really gives it this big scale. And these are going to push out the fluid quite a bit. And it's going to make it look so much more detailed and so much more kind of organic. Looks pretty good. So in the next lesson, we're going to go in and add this to our simulation.